welcome back to another edition of Open Shutter and have the pleasure of welcoming Ryan to the program. Thanks, man, for taking the time to come on this thing.
No, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're just talking offline about the heat wave here in Toronto, so we both survived it so far.
Exactly, exactly.
Right, right, but it's okay. We're
We're
just sitting
photographers.
offline. Summer goes by so quickly, so especially here in the city, right? So anyway, well,
I mean,
thanks, man.
realistically, like, oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say, realistically, we're photographers. I mean, you know, uh, Mother Nature can't really get in our way. We're always out there.
You always gotta. Hey, man. I think the more drama with with the weather, the better a story goes with the photo, right?
Exactly,
You don't
exactly,
want it. You don't want it too easy. Sometimes you kind of want a little bit of an adventure, right?
exactly. The feeling that you worked for it. It's like,
Yeah,
oh my
you want
God,
to.
you
It's like, oh,
never
I had
imagined.
to, I had to climb this hill in this sleet of rain or something, and tell me more, kind of thing,
Oh, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, man. Well, cool, man.
Oh,
Well,
the
thanks
audience.
again for taking the time. Yeah, go ahead. I think there might be delay or something. I'm not sure, but anyway, go ahead, sir.
Oh no, I was gonna say just reel them in, reel
Reel
them
them
in with
in,
the
right?
story.
Wow, it's attention, right? I think at getting someone's attention is so hard these days sometimes because there's just so much at us like all the time. Like it's hard to grab someone sometimes.
Yeah, it can be, but I mean, if people are gonna see it, they're gonna see it. If they don't, they don't. I
Mm,
mean,
mm,
there's only so much you can do, especially on social media. Like
yeah,
the best, in my experience at least, the best way to do it is literally just go out on the street, take some photos, ask people like, "Hey, listen, like, do you mind if I take your portrait?" Like I remember getting a few jobs actually just based on my going out shooting street, and then it becomes like a um, it kind of spirals into another job for me. So
yeah, cool. And that's just very or like it's a very or like organic
yeah, exactly,
experience
exactly.
kind of thing, right? Yeah,
A little more
that's
personal,
interesting.
a little more
It's a little bit
personal.
more personal. Cool, man. So that's like your like what do you want people to like know about you? Like are you I know on your IG you're like your event and portrait and all that, but like what's your thing though when you want to tell people about what you do?
Um, I mean, broadly speaking, it's one of those things where I prefer to shoot. I keep saying shoot. I'm very thankful we're in Canada. Otherwise, people might give a bit of a
Yeah.
side eye.
No, no.
Uh, but I generally speaking, I enjoy shooting anything involving people. I need that anchor. I need that subject.
Yeah.
Um, in terms of like who, for lack of a better term, like who I would shoot, it's
Yeah.
really anyone and everyone. Um,
Mm.
yeah. Again, thankfully we're in Toronto. Otherwise, that would sound really bad.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think people are pretty open to getting their picture taken, especially when you're like upfront about it. Like you're not kind of being like weird about it. Like if you're upfront with people, I think people will generally be okay with it, I would think. No? I don't know.
Generally, yes.
Yeah.
There are some people who are like, no, I'm good. And
Mhm.
at that point, just move on. Like, you're
Right.
good. But if they ask you, like, hey, like, can I see your Instagram or like your website, what have you? Like, I just kind of give it to them because it's like,
Yeah.
I know I have nothing to hide.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
That's what I
Yeah,
mean. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, when you got nothing to hide, then people will understand that, and they'll be more open to saying yes than no kind of thing,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Because you always have some people downtown, and they're kind of being coy about taking the shot because they don't have, like, a long enough lens, so they're kind of in the gray area where it's like, well, you should really ask them now, right? Because you're almost in their personal space.
Kind of, you're on one side of the street with a 70 to 200 or something like that. You're in all the way at 200. It's like a headshot. It's like,
Yeah.
how the heck? Can I curse on this? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, dude. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I like, how the hell did you get that? It's like, well, funny story. I'm training to
Right.
be a paparazzi. So
Yeah, that's the ticket. That's the pitch, eh? Training to be. Is there a formal training for paparazzi? I don't know. Maybe that's just how you do it. You just go out there and try to piss people off. Maybe.
exactly, just full needless confrontation.
Yeah, man. Cool. So you've always been into like the portrait stuff?
Pretty much. I
Yeah.
mean, I find like anytime I shoot, like for example, I'm at my partner's house,
Yeah.
and there's a skyline, beautiful skyline.
Right.
I need something to focus on, otherwise it bores me
Mm.
in a way. So it's
Like the
like if it's
like the photo bores you, or like the shot bores you.
kind of, yeah. Like
Yeah.
unless there's like, oh, like that crane, I can perfectly frame that, for example. Or
Right.
if I if like the moon is just sitting just right in a
Yeah.
certain area of the frame.
Mm.
But if it's just like, oh yeah, like these, like tall trees, for example, it's like that's nice, but
Yeah.
not my thing.
Right. You're trying to tell more of like a story with it.
Kinda, yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like especially when it comes to specifically when it comes to stories. Um, when I do like couples portraits, for example, one of the they usually I've had a few people ask me like, oh, like do I have a pitch? And for me, that's a little weird because
Right.
like these are your portraits. Like
Mhm.
if you're homebodies, I'm not going to put you on King West on a Friday night,
Right.
or if you're
Right. Yeah.
or if you guys like love cooking together or something like that, I'm not going to put you in front of the TV with like a Domino's pizza or something.
Yeah.
Like
It has to reflect who the person actually is. It's not
exactly,
it's not
exactly.
it's not it's not a staged thing. Like, this is how this person actually is in real life.
No, exactly.
Interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting. Oh, that's cool. Well, again, it tells the story. It tells you want to convey, you want to convey some sort of emotion, which I think is the great thing about it, is like people hire you because they know that you can deliver on that. They know that you can deliver on what they actually see, like what they actually picture in their head. And that's not
Yeah.
easy sometimes, right? Because.
Well, it's also a feeling, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, can't try and this is going to sound pretentious as all hell, but
Yeah.
like almost trying to capture like how they feel with each other.
Right.
Like the more intimate moments, for example, like I'm not going to use a 70 to 200 if it's a more intimate
Mhm.
moment. I'm probably going to be putting on like a 35 or a 20 or all the way out to 24,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just to bring us in on who these people are, the audience on who these people are.
Like something like that, I guess.
That one, yeah, I think that one was a 50, I
Yeah.
think, if I'm not mistaken.
Uh, it's cool, man. And I like the black and white too.
Same, same.
Yeah, I like black
Um,
and white, just so timeless. Especially for like portraits,
truly, truly.
you know.
It's one of those things where I've had a lot of people tell me, shoot, like, why don't you use color? Why don't I use color as often as I do? Which is weird because I feel like I use a lot of color,
Yeah.
but it for me, I have like a quote in the back of my head. I can't remember who it was, but it's like if color is for documentary work, then black and white, you strip everything out and you're just stuck in the emotion. You're just stuck with
Uh,
these people without
yeah,
any
yeah.
distractions.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
when it
I get
comes
that.
to when it comes to couples stuff like that, I tend to lean a little more towards black and white,
Ah.
unless they're like I don't know, like if something about them screams this should be in color. So like if it's if they're wearing I did a shoot a little bit ago
Yeah.
with someone who had like oh god, what do they call it? Rainbow fishnets.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, I'm gonna put some in black and white because they're kind of it's still awesome, but I'm not gonna throw
Yeah.
that into I'm not gonna throw as many of those into black and white.
Right. Yeah.
That person, the middle finger glove. I think it's a couple slides in. Oh, thank you.
No worries. Wow, it's got some attitude, eh? I
A
dig
little
it.
bit,
I
a little
dig it.
bit.
I dig it.
That was really rewarding because it was one of those things where like as the shoot went on, I can almost
Yeah.
tell like, okay, you're getting a lot more comfortable with me, so we're now able to like really go off and do these
Mm.
really like these things that I don't know, like maybe
So, like, what's the story behind, like, the middle finger?
um
Is there,
I
like, a
I
story behind it?
I wish I had a better answer.
Yeah.
I think I just remember seeing this one shot of Eminem, funny enough,
Yeah.
with him framed with a wide angle between two middle fingers, and I think that just kind of stuck. That just kind of
Ah,
stuck in my head for a while.
yeah, yeah,
If you want the pretentious answer, it's
yeah.
me creating leading lines with with the person, but I mean,
Right, right.
like realistically, that was if you were to justify it as that, it's like a happy coincidence.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's cool. It works. I mean, it works with the whole vibe of, like, the shot, you know? It's pretty
Yeah,
cool. It's always good when, like, you're in, like, the zone. Like, when you get in the zone with someone, it becomes not even work, it just becomes fun,
no, at that point, it's like you're hanging out with a camera.
basically. You're just hanging out with a friend and just shooting, which I think is
No, exactly.
it's great, right? There's really no pressure, there's no expectation, you're just both there having fun, and I think that's when the real magic happens is when you stop putting, like, expectations on something, you just let it go and just see where it goes, and
100%,
you get some
100%.
really, really just natural stuff, you know?
Yes. Like, I've had some people, the first slide you pulled up actually, um, there was a shot that I tried to do that I'd taken at like another event a few years prior. Like, oh,
Yeah.
let's see how this works, and it just didn't. But that shot of him kissing her on the forehead
Yeah.
just came out, and I was like, oh, like that. Let's do.
Yeah. Exactly, it's like a not planned, it's not expected, it's not but it just happens, and then
It.
boom, right? Because
Exactly.
sometimes there's a lot of sometimes especially with those kind especially like engagement or like wedding stuff, like, sometimes there's so much pressure and like there's so much like tension sometimes. Like it's hard to like find those moments to like really tell like what's going on that day. So it's great
Yeah,
when you can work with someone and make them feel so comfortable that like all that stuff goes away. I mean, it's a skill in itself to be able to work with people and like to be able to like, hey, we're just here we're gonna have some fun, no worries, and
it's like a fine line between kind of I don't want to say taking the lead.
yeah,
You know, these people maybe they've been in front of a camera when they were doing like photo day at school, and that was the last time they were ever in front of it,
right,
like properly in front of a camera.
yeah,
So like, I it I see it as our job to make sure that they are as comfortable as possible because
yeah.
th there's only so much you could tell about someone within like a 60-minute prep call. You know, like
Yeah. There's only especially on a call and it's on a person, you just don't get the like the in-person vibe also sometimes, but it is what it is.
Like if I had it my way, I would probably be like, "Oh yeah, let's meet up for coffee." Like every client I
Yeah,
have, like, "Oh yeah, let's like meet up for coffee, like for like an hour, and let's just chill."
yeah,
Just to kind of get a sense of like who we are, and frankly, like if I'm a good fit for you, because that's
right.
the thing too, right? Like I tend to lean into high contrast. I tend to lean into some call it like grunge, some kind of punk.
Yeah,
Um, Oh God, what there was one person who for some of these shots that are on screen now,
yeah.
oh, what is it called? It's something feminine.
Oh, yeah.
Uh yeah, dark femme, dark femme.
Dark fan.
Um, but I tend to lean into dark tones.
Mm,
So like will that work for you? Like
mm,
are you interested in having that? I can do stuff that's a lot brighter as well, obviously, but this
yeah,
is kind of like where my brain immediately goes when it comes to, hey, like can you take my portrait?
mm. And what's the great thing about, like, that kind of approach, like, for you? What is it that you like about the dark femme stuff?
Not specifically dark femme, but just generally like a darker.
Yeah.
vibe. For me, it allows me to kind of almost put a spotlight on the person,
Mm,
um, like kind of like really bring them out and bring a little bit of the environment, like that one shot in the middle there. But by and large,
this one?
the yes, by and large, like the focus is on them.
Yeah, yeah. It's great, eh? It's great. It's great. It's great when it works.
Yes, yeah, there have been times where I've been like, okay, this might not work, or
Yeah.
this isn't working, so let's pivot in the
So what do
middle.
you
And that's sorry, go ahead.
and then so like what do you do if it's not working?
I can just pivot.
You just pivot to
Uh,
something else, you got a plan B?
yeah, I tend to live by this one quote from like the Flash show, where it's like create the plan, execute the plan, expect the plan to fail, create a backup plan, and then fly by the skin of your teeth. Like
Right. That's almost like a life quote.
kinda, yeah. Like man
Almost.
plans, God laughs. So
Yeah, basically, right? Well, hey, it works for you, man. Like it's like I mean, how did what's like do you for people that want to get into like portraits and they want to make it like a side hustle or full time, like do you have any advice for people that want to start on and get into that kind of line of work?
I mean, ask your friends
Yeah.
is probably the most common piece of advice, but
Mm,
it really is the best. Um, if you're looking for like if there's like a more technical piece of advice I can give, don't I might get some flack for this.
yeah.
Don't bother looking at your specs.
Mm,
Um, like don't obviously like I wouldn't quite recommend using just your iPhone or a point and shoot. I would say like get something with an interchangeable lens, but realistically, if you have like an entry level body and I know for Canon the cheapest lens is like a 50 mil, like 50 mil 1.8.
yeah. Yeah.
That will take you further than you probably think it will. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, don't stress too much about like, oh, I need to, insert this here yet at least. Because it really doesn't matter that much.
Yeah. It's also really about the eye too. If you're able to
Exactly.
really kind of train your eye and be able to, like you did with the first picture with with the guy kissing the forehead. Like if you're able to capture that, I mean, that's also skill. Like it's not just about the camera, right? Like there was someone on
Exactly.
the other week saying, um, someone told him, "Oh, your camera takes really great photos." And the guy thought to himself, "Well, it's actually not the camera, it's me." So it's you got to really understand like the craft. Like I think sometimes, especially in this day and age where everybody has a phone and everybody thinks that they are a photographer, where what's actually is a craft. Like you do have to understand how everything works, and
Mhm.
that's what starts to separate people because not everybody's into like shutter speed and aperture and ISO. They don't want to understand the exposure triangle. They don't want to understand lighting, and but I mean, again, it all goes part to like the craft of it, right? So
And I'll say this, like if you're not interested in learning your exposure triangle, like that's
yeah,
fine.
yeah,
Like if you're able to either capture a moment or anything like that, that's still more than fine. Like I don't think anyone's gonna I think some people are gonna begrudge you, but realistically, the people who I'm gonna say the people who are worth their salt, like I
yeah.
don't think anyone's really gonna judge you too harshly for it.
No, I don't think so.
I was gonna hope not.
Well, I also think like we're also our own worst critics too. Like I think sometimes, well, I'll just speak for myself personally. Like I get stuck in my head all the time. So you start to like doubt yourself and all that stuff, and then you have to like remind yourself. It's like, well, no, I do have skill and I do have value and all that. So it's hard in like this day and age of social media to kind of because no one's really telling you you're amazing, like you're great every day. You kind of have to do that yourself. You almost have to be like
Yeah,
your own cheerleader and just constantly remind yourself because you start to compare yourself to other people and you see other stuff on social media. It's like, oh, I wish I could do that, or I wish I could do this, or I just need that lens, or I need that light, or I need this. And then you kind of go down the gear rabbit hole, and then
the trap.
since
The
yeah,
trap.
it's hard, right? Because you just you're constantly looking for like the next thing. Right? So it's a constant, to me, it's like it's a constant chase of A, getting the shot, B, getting the validation, C, moving on to the next thing. And it's
and
it could be
and D,
tiring
getting the gear.
sometimes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%,
Yeah, it's
100%.
tough. It's tough, right? Like I said at the start, right? We're all, especially even with this podcast, we're just trying to get someone's attention. Like,
Yeah,
hey, I'm here, so that's when it gets tricky because especially when you're starting out and no one's paying attention, it's like, well, now what?
yeah,
What do you
yeah.
do? What do you do? Right? You gotta, like you said, start with your friends. Like, no, I got a no pressure environment. There's
Mm.
no pressure, no one's paying you, no one's expecting, and you just start to, you gotta really stay focused. You really gotta, like I always say, you have to have like a North Star of like where you want to get to, like where do you want to go? And you kind of have to like rely on that to kind of get you through like the valleys, so to speak, right? Because like like peaks are great. Like no one's gonna tell you how to navigate the peaks, but when you get to the valleys, like that's when it gets a little bit more, difficult to like continue, right?
Kind of questioning your life choices at a point. You're like, what would have happened if I'd done XYZ differently? Like, would I
Yeah,
be like, where would I be? Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's always easy hindsight, but I mean, I don't
Mhm.
know. You always need like you need a North Star. You need something to kind of get you through the valleys just so you know where you're kind of going and kind of keep you focused because there's so much noise, man. Like there's
No,
opinions
yeah,
about everything about from everyone about everything. So if you start to listen to people about, oh, you need this lens or you need that camera, you need a Sony to shoot this or you need a Canon to shoot that, I say, okay, well, all I got is a Samsung Android. Now what? So I don't know. It's tough, right? It's
work with
tough.
it because like I the way I see it is like when it comes to like the Samsung, Android, Apple stuff like that. Like
Yeah,
realistically, like what did people have before DSLRs? What did people have
sure,
before mirrorless? Like we are working with tools that are significantly more advanced
of course,
uh than any uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Like we're working with more advanced, like significantly more advanced tools nowadays.
100%.
So like
So
the
where's the
idea,
art? But where's the art, right? Show the
yeah,
art.
exactly.
Show the art. Like what do you like? You know, I was at a Canon thing on the weekend, and it was really fun. A lot of cool people there. But like everybody was talking about like gear, obviously, because you're at a Canon thing, which makes
Yeah.
sense. I'm not like, but like everybody's talking about the specs on camera. To me, it's like, well, show me what you're doing. Like, show me like what is it that you're doing though. It's great that it
Truly.
does 8K, but like, but what are you doing though?
Exactly.
You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Like
It's show me like the work.
exactly. Like I remember when I believe it was Resident Evil Afterlife came out
Yeah.
back in like 2010. I remember seeing some marketing where like they were advertising the fact that this was shot used with the same camera. This was shot with the same cameras as were used in Avatar, like the
Right.
2009 James Cameron's Avatar,
Yeah.
and that kind of solidified it for me. It's like, yeah, you can have what are by and large the best cameras on the market. You still made Resident Evil Afterlife.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like it didn't make it a better movie.
No.
So
Exactly.
yeah,
I mean, it's just yeah. I don't know. It's sometimes we get caught up in gear too much. I mean, gear is fun.
yeah.
I'm not downplaying gear. I mean, gear is important,
Oh, it's a
obviously, but
blast.
I mean, I think it's also important to just to start shooting. It could whatever it is, video, whatever, photo, painting. You want to paint, start
100%.
painting. Like start to get into like the actual workspace, and then from there you can really understand like what's actually involved because to get your shots like it takes work, it takes experience, it takes a certain degree of knowledge to get the shots that you're getting, right? So when someone's starting out maybe watching this and they're looking at your stuff, it's like, oh, I want to get that stuff. Well, start practicing.
Um, yeah. Well, if anyone is watching this, I can promise you my newest camera
Yeah.
is a 5D Mark III,
Oh yeah. Nice. I love that stuff.
and I used that on a wedding. Actually, Funny enough,
Nice.
that first pinned one, that shot, that black and white shot of the
This
wide of
one?
the wedding, yep, that one.
Nice.
That was on a 5D Mark II.
Is that right?
Yep.
There
I
you
showed
go.
that to a friend of mine. She was like, is my camera good enough? She said it. She had a
Yeah.
has a D70 or a 70D,
Mm,
and I think that came out either year of or like a few years after the 5D3, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
So I just kind of told her, like, I showed her that shot, and I was like, "What do you think I took this on?" I took it on a camera that's almost old enough to vote. So like, it's
When
not.
what what did she say? Was she
She was
surprised?
basically just like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, basically, right? Well, I'll see. You never see. Very cool.
Now I'm at the point of like kind of looking at some of these shots. I'm like, okay, what would I have done differently? Which I think is a
What
good
would you
place to
and what would you have done?
be. I mean, for some of these, probably like use a little more color, go a little tighter for
Yeah,
some, wider for others, because
yeah,
that was really my first wedding on my own.
yeah.
So also, Dan Alora, if you're listening to this,
Hmm.
I'm sorry, but that was in fact the first wedding I shot on my own.
They didn't
Uh,
know that?
I think I stretched the truth a little bit because I had done weddings, but I'd done them as like a tertiary photographer.
Yeah.
Like I was still technically in the training phase.
Mm.
So, but that was the first time I'd done a wedding like fully on my own. So I didn't lie per se. I just stretched the truth a bit.
Right. Got
Uh,
it.
but they seem to have liked it. They seem to have liked the shots.
Yeah.
Which that's certainly a level of validation that I really like, or that I kind of
100%.
cling to. Like, oh, they like this, or like just thinking, oh, this person wanted me to do this. So like
Yeah.
in that regard, it's very it can be quite valid.
Feels good though, right?
Very good.
Like it feels good, especially when you're there solo. It's not an easy gig solo.
No,
No.
no.
You did photo and video or just photo?
Just photo.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a very hard time editing video. Like I can take video.
Yeah.
I actually enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie,
Mm,
but for
mhm,
me, it's the editing process that
mhm,
I've always hated.
mm.
Like you know how in Photoshop, if you want to like completely remove the background
Yeah.
without doing anything else, there's like that like pixel thin layer
Yeah,
of
yeah.
what used to be the background. I would
Right.
much rather use a clone and stamp tool and edit that out by hand
Oh,
versus
wow.
syncing
Oh,
audio to video.
wow. Jeez.
Like
That's
I I
that's sick, man.
yeah,
That's sick.
I wouldn't want to do that either, but like if I had the
Uh,
choice.
right, right. Okay, so no video for you. Don't contact Ryan for video work.
I mean, you can, but it might be I might be pulling out teeth at a point because I
Got
need
it.
a level
Yeah,
of
yeah.
audio stimulation. Like I need to be
Uh,
like listening to a podcast or like YouTube in the
right.
background.
Yeah, it's always the downside with video editing because you can't listen to music. You gotta listen to the actual video they're editing.
Exactly. So
I
like
hear you. I hear you.
if I'm like sitting there hearing like the first frame of sound, first frame like the single frame of audio over and over again to try and sync it,
Yeah.
uh it can be exhausting emotionally.
Emotionally speaking, yeah. That's funny. So would you do a wedding again?
100%.
Would
I
you?
have
Or you got one lined up?
I don't have any lined up, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I do have like promos out, stuff like that. Like, hey, like
Okay.
for anyone who wants to, for anyone who wants to do like a last minute or who's looking for a photographer for their wedding,
Yeah.
let me know because frankly, I gotta whore myself out everywhere I can. So
It's a constant grind. It's a constant grind. Yeah, yeah. I hear
exactly,
you. I
exactly.
hear you. Yeah, I mean,
Eventually, it'll be a sword, but
um, yeah, it's a constant grind, right? Just trying to get gigs, it's not easy sometimes,
no,
No. Like
no.
how do you manage that versus like not getting to like burnout stage?
Kind of. Generally just kind of keeping busy. Um,
Ah,
Reaching out like, hey, listen, like, do you want to do this? Or to a few couples who either I know or live in my partner's building.
yeah.
Um, like, hey, like, are you guys interested in doing a shoot, stuff like that? Obviously, I'm not like knocking door to door, but like if they're like walking down and they look badass, I'm like, hey, like are you guys interested in doing a shoot or something like that?
Right, right, yeah. You got knocking on doors with with a pamphlet in your hand. It's funny.
Have you
Um,
heard about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?
yeah,
Also,
yeah, yeah.
you
You're
wanted to
not.
talk.
Yeah, I know, right? Like it's well, that's sometimes
It's
that's what it takes sometimes in this day and age.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
I think these days it's more of a cold DM than it is a than it is
a
a
cold DM on Instagram, kind of like what I sent you. It's like, who is this person? Like, what's happening?
kind of. I mean like sometimes it works.
It
Some like
works, yeah. It's
sometimes
all
yeah,
timing, man. Honestly, it's all timing. Doesn't matter what business you're in. If the timing is there, then
exactly.
it's more than half the battle. Like, it could be anything.
Yeah.
Could be anything.
Yeah. Like I
Yeah,
remember I cold DM'd a band that was playing in that was playing at the Drake Hotel on Monday. I reached out
yeah,
to them like last month.
yeah,
Just cold DM. They had no reason to
yeah,
respond, but they were like, "Hey,
yeah.
like, yeah, I like your work. Come out and shoot." So I'm actually in the
Solid.
process of editing down about
How?
2,000.
That's it. How was the show, man?
Yeah,
How was the
fair,
show?
fair.
How was the show?
Oh, it was. Oh wait. So,
Effing
is there a
great.
limit on how intense I can curse? Because I was
You
gonna say
can.
it's fucking wonderful.
Okay, it's effing wonderful. I love that. It's
Everyone, I'm
good.
so sorry.
Was it just you shooting, or were there other people shooting?
I was the only one working with the band. But
I'm with the
there were
band. I'm with
people.
the band. I've always wanted to say that. I'm with the band.
I'm just I'm not even like on the tour bus. I'm just like in the luggage compartment on the underside, just like I'm here too.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
uh,
It's like the
but
movie Almost Famous. It's like the movie Almost Famous. It's kind of like that.
truly, truly.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, like people were there. Like people came in with cameras. People like I've seen for the minimal amount of concerts I've been to. I've
yeah.
seen people do that. I've done that. But by reaching out, I was able to take a few really interesting shots, particularly like when they're backstage getting prepped.
Nice,
Um, Being
nice.
able, like one of the last shots I took was I I asked the band beforehand, but I ran up on stage behind them to take like a group shot of them in the foreground and the entire
Beautiful,
crowd in the background.
beautiful. 100%. Banger. Was it good? Was it a banger
Oh,
shot?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I love
I think
that
I got
stuff. I love that stuff.
no. It was a lot of fun. There's one song that I've been listening to of theirs for probably like a year and a half now, and hearing it live because they play two shows back to back, so I got to hear it twice, and
Yeah,
it didn't get old. It was so good.
nice.
Sorry, I'm just gushing about the band. Sorry.
Who's the band?
New Constellations.
I've know them. I've heard of them.
They've got it was Hot Blooded. They've been like
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
Instagram circuit. Yeah,
yeah. That's it. Are they from Toronto?
uh, Portland, I believe.
Okay, so not Toronto. Okay,
No,
cool. West
so
Coast, West Coast, Pacific Northwest represent.
yeah, yeah.
See what happens when you just cold DM people? Be like, yeah, come on down. That's like the moral of the story. It's like just like message people.
Truly, truly. Like
Right.
the worst they can do is leave you on red.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
at that point, it's like you've hopefully DM'd like a few other people to the point where
Yeah.
that you're like, it's fine that I lost out because at the very least, like, oh, I'm getting an opportunity here, or
Exactly.
I got noticed in some way, shape, or form over there. And
Yeah, yeah.
through that, I was able to at least get in contact with another band who they may want to do something in the fall.
Right. Beautiful.
So,
Exactly. Once again, timing, right?
exactly, exactly.
It's timing and persistence. These are two things that line up. And when they line up, it works out pretty well in your favor.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know. But again, people aren't, everyone's not doing that. Everyone's not DMing, whatever, 10, 20, 30 people, whatever, they're just kind of Some people are just kind of waiting back, thinking that, oh, they're gonna call me, versus, well, no, you actually have to put in the effort.
Yep.
It's not
It's
not
I was talking to a friend about this actually. I was like, it sucks, but it's something you got to do, which is prove yourself
yeah,
every single time.
yeah,
Like it's not enough to it's not enough to prove yourself just once. Like you have to prove yourself again and again and again.
yeah,
And it can be draining, but I also just got to remember like the the reward that comes from that is so much better than the
yeah.
feeling I'm in right now, which is like, oh my God.
Well, it's almost like you're proving it to yourself. Like, it's not even about proving it to other
Yes.
people. It's, you are doing work for other people and get the validation, which is great. But in the end, you're really proving it to yourself, which
Yeah.
just gives you the confidence for like the next one.
Mhm.
Confidence doesn't really come from imagining that you've done it. It comes from actually like doing it. you know.
It comes from failure after failure after failure
Yeah.
until you
Yeah.
finally get it, and then you get it again, and then you
Sure.
fail, and then you get it again, and it keeps
Yeah.
building like that to the point where like,
Yeah.
oh no, now I can do this.
Yeah. Failure slash experience, right? Because
Exactly.
even the photos that I take today or the stuff that I make today, probably in 5 years, I'd be like, what the hell was that? But it's a
Yeah.
progression of like just the experience and the skill
Mhm.
set that you can build upon, right? So, people may not want to, maybe that's why some people don't want to get into that stuff, because they don't want to kind of go through like the hardships of, I don't know what it is, like progression or failure, or just kind of like not meeting their own expectations. But there is a certain level of like steps you have to go through to kind of get to, again, like the North Star thing, where you do have to go through a process, and like I don't think the process really ever ends.
No, no.
I just think you're always, like I said before, like it's like you're always on to like the next thing. Like, you're gonna shoot the Rolling Stones and then be like, and then what? What are you gonna do after? What do you do after the Rolling Stones? Like, I don't.
Well, then you reach out to so you reach out to a magazine and you're like,
I
hey, listen,
guess.
like I took these photos for this band.
Yeah.
Do you have any jobs that you can assign me? Because,
Right. I just shot
this is
the
my portfolio.
freaking Rolling Stones, man. And Mick is still alive. Keith is still alive. So there you go. You never know, right? But
I'll admit, not too big into the Stones, but
yeah.
yeah, sorry.
If you do shoot them, it's a big deal.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely put that
That I
on your
did know. That I did know.
yeah. If you do put that on your IG. Photographer of the Rolling Stones. You may get some work, man. You never know. You never know.
Yeah, yeah.
So what are
Even
you
if
gonna do?
you,
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
so I was gonna say, even if you mess up and just never post it, as long as you have like I shot
Mhm.
Rolling Stones,
Oh, man, that'd be
you're good.
cool. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna send this band like photo, like how you gonna send the band? You have like a deadline and stuff for the band?
Um, I tend to set myself deadlines,
Nice.
just because like they said, take your time, stuff like that. For
Mm,
me, the moment I start really taking my time is the moment I'm like, okay, I'll do a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, and
yeah.
what feasibly should be a week can become three.
Mm,
So I tend to say like 1 to 2. I told them like 1 to 2 weeks, with 2 weeks being the absolute limit. Like it has to be sent within the 2 week time frame,
yeah.
just like to get my own ass in gear,
And
so
is
I don't
that
get
just
behind.
procrastination, or like it's just like like a perfection thing, or like
Uh, bit of both.
yeah,
Because I can be a bit of a perfectionist, it kind of becomes like a
yeah,
like okay, well I gotta wait until it's perfect. I gotta wait until it's perfect. I gotta wait until it's perfect. And then it becomes like, oh, I haven't sent it because in my head it's not perfect.
yeah.
Like I did that with uh my girlfriend went to a New Year's party with her family.
Mhm.
Um it was fortunately relatively low stakes, relatively. But it
Okay.
was still like I didn't send it for a while because in my head I was like, they're not good enough. They're not good enough. They're not good enough.
Mm, mm.
But they liked them. Like
What were you so worried about, man? What were you so
kinda.
worried about? What were you so worried about?
I feel like a lot of us just kind of have to remind ourselves like we may notice things that the client will never,
We all
never
do.
notice at all.
100%. It's almost like the artist. It's the artist's fault. We always see things that no one else A sees or B cares.
Yeah, yeah. Like they're not gonna notice. What's a good example? Like, oh, they may not notice that like stray blade of grass
Right.
like
Right.
right in front of their dress.
No one.
That's a
No one.
little longer than the other pieces of grass.
We've all been there, man. Now you try to fix the grass. There's like a blemish on someone's like forearm you're trying to like fix. Like, don't worry about that.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Like it's not even a bad thing. It's just like a slight like pigment change almost like they
yeah,
got like sunburned
no
in that
one.
specific spot somehow. You're like, I gotta fix that. It's like
Yeah,
they're not gonna. Chances are they're not gonna notice.
yeah. It is the artist. It is the artist's fault where we do want to. But again, what is perfect? Like what does that even mean? Sometimes like what I don't know. Perfect to me may not be perfect to you. Like it's very subjective sometimes. I
Yeah,
think like
yeah.
what we think is perfect, and then someone will also be like, "Well, no, I don't think that is," and then becomes like a heated debate, and that's not good for anyone.
No, no. I think for me, I've kind of shifted what perfect means to like,
Yeah,
do they like it?
right.
If they like it, and I know that I've done my best to make sure that they are as good as possible,
Yeah,
that's fine.
yeah,
I can go to sleep happy.
yeah, yeah. Whenever the client says, "Oh wow," like you've done a good job when you get the wow in like the convo. It's a
Or
good
even
one.
better, uh, it's gonna sound awful saying it out
Yeah.
loud, but like even
Mm,
better, if you're taking like couples portraits or anything like that, and
yeah.
they like start happy crying.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's happened once for me,
Yeah.
but I've been
Really.
chasing it ever since. But
Happy crying during the photo shoot. So what
not
happens? Like
not
there's
not during the photo shoot, but like
uh,
as you're looking over the shots, or, like
ah
they're looking over the
they're
final
crying
album,
because
like,
the
oh,
photos are so damn good.
or they're brought back to like the feeling of
Yeah, yeah.
um what this person means to them.
Mm,
Like that to me is kind of like what I chase, what I've been
yeah.
chasing.
Mm.
Like I said, only happened once, and frankly, I'm pretty sure they were high, but
No way. No way. Were they high? No way.
but it's still just like a that
Happy.
felt good enough that I'm gonna keep chasing that, even if I never get it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Crying looking over photos, that's a good one. Like you really nailed it, eh?
The funniest thing though,
Yeah.
it was a random candid um
Yeah.
of them just holding hands. That's why I think they were high
Mm.
when they saw the photo, because one of them just kind of started tearing up. I'm like, are you okay? Are you good? Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was just that feeling of like, oh my God, like I captured a moment that was so important to them,
Right.
like that kind of thing.
Right. That you didn't think it was that important, but for them it was very important.
Exactly, exactly.
Interesting. Well, it's, again, it goes back to the whole like subjective thing where it's like you capture something, and
100%,
apparently
100%.
that's like the most important thing in the entire day for them. So there you go. You never know. You gotta get it. Always shoot more than not enough. I guess is like also the moral of the story because you never know what you can get sometimes.
2,000 photos at a concert, yes,
2,000
definitely over.
photos. You gotta send how many out of that?
They didn't give me any specifics, but I did say
Uh,
like probably looking at anywhere from, again, I probably over deliver, but anywhere from like 125, 175, give or take.
yeah, I
'Cause
love.
so go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I love like like behind the scenes backstage stuff. I love that stuff. That's good stuff.
That was a lot of fun, and they were super cool about it
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
So it certainly made it a hell of a lot easier.
No
Um,
kidding. Eh?
but yeah, I don't know. I've always like my favorite one of my favorite parts at least, like it certainly is the editing. So
Yeah.
like I am that weirdo who's like everyone's like, oh my God, those are so many photos to go through. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, you love
Like
that stuff.
I kind of I like the satisfaction of seeing it on my computer and going,
Yeah,
I nailed it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
got the shot.
yeah. It's a
And
good feeling. Yeah,
it is. It's
100%.
worth the 5 shots that I got that were out of focus, and I'm just kind of looking at it like,
Yeah,
I missed. How did I miss? But when
but you're not gonna edit 2,000 photos. You gotta like, you gotta cull a little
no,
bit. You
I
gotta cull a little bit.
I do like 3 different culls.
Yeah,
So the first one is like, okay, these are the usables.
yeah,
Second cull is okay, we're kind of getting it down to like these, like if I had to deliver a large album, this is what I'm
right,
sending.
right.
And then the third one is usually okay, like the best of the best, what is going out. That would be the
Yeah,
third and generally final cull, and from there I send it
yeah,
out. First
yeah.
cull is I believe 270 something.
Makes
So getting
sense.
that down to
Makes sense.
so like getting that down to 100 125 175
Yeah.
shouldn't be too much of a problem.
It's always hard to, especially when you get down to it, it's always hard to select like the best ones sometimes because you love them all, right? It's kind of like the artist thing where you like all your stuff, and it's like, well, how am I gonna get this down to this? And or if you're trying to get photos for a website or portfolio, it's like you got to, because people always tell
Yeah.
me like less is more. Like, if you think 10, put five. If you think 20, put 10. Like just really, really the best. But it's hard because like you almost need to get someone else to like pick for you because you're too biased. You know?
Uh,
Me.
you had Jordan here
Yeah, he
on
was
here
on a
like a
few
little
bu
bit
yeah,
ago.
yeah,
He's been my mentor through a lot of my through a lot of
yeah,
what I've done, and it's between him and like a few other people. I will send photos. Like, do you think this works? Do you think this doesn't? Like, I'll hop on a call to
yeah,
cull it down. Like, hey, like, do you think these work? Like, you kind of need. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. You do sometimes need that extra set of eyes because at a point you're like you're biased towards yourself. Like, oh my
yeah,
god, like
yeah, like,
this is
you like your own stuff. It's almost like grading your own paper. Like, you need
kind of
someone
yeah.
else to, like, do it. Like, "Here, really tell me what you really think, but be gentle." You know?
Or like, do you think they would appreciate this shot? For
Yeah,
me, it's like in my head, kind of getting my start in events.
right.
One thing is like, oh well, where's this? Like, I would always get questions later, like, oh, where's this photo? Where's this photo? Where's this photo? Where's this photo? Where's this photo?
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
So now it's almost trained me to be like, um, to send just as many as possible.
Yeah,
So now that I I have a better understanding of what I do, uh, my clients have a little bit of a better understanding of what I do.
yeah,
It's become almost like the antithesis of that. Like, oh, like, do the clients really need this one? Like, it's a
mm,
little too similar to this one, but it's a
yeah.
slightly different moment. So it's like, which one
Yeah,
do you think?
you're kinda splitting the hairs, right? But
Truly, truly.
I hear you on that. Jordan's also the man too. He's really good.
Oh, he's a legend. He's a legend.
Yeah, he's a legend. He is a legend actually. So it's good. It's good that you have him in your corner there because it definitely helps out with that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Any problems, anything like that, I just basically I just go straight to him. Like, hey, like, what do you think of
Yeah,
this?
yeah,
Like, is this okay? Like,
yeah, 100%. Who else are some really great people in the city that you look up to? Anyone else that you wanna shout out?
um, a woman named Seda. She goes by I call
Yeah.
the shots on Instagram. She's really
I
good.
call the shots? That's a
Yes,
great handle, jeez.
right? Like,
I call the shots?
yep. She's
Oh,
fantastic. She does a lot of events around Toronto, and she's really good.
yeah?
I may have to scroll through my Instagram to be like to
Here, I call
guarantee, for lack of a better term, like more. But
her?
yes,
I call this. What a great handle.
it is. She's done
Man.
a lot of stuff with music producers as well, like artists.
Yeah? Damn. Okay, okay. She does call the shots, eh? Cool, man. I dig it.
Another one is Ashley Starr on Instagram. She's Star Photography Co. I'm technically working. Oh, sorry.
Star Photography on Co on Instagram?
Yes.
Co. Let's see what we got. Uh, st- oh, yeah. Oh, I see.
I'm technically under her in a way.
Yeah, you're right
Yes.
here.
Oh, yeah.
So what's the deal?
Um, it's the way I've been describing it to friends of mine is it's kind of a like a manager almost. So like
Oh
she'll
yeah.
send me off to a shoot and I kind of shoot on the company's behalf
Ah,
while maintaining my own style, my own flair.
I see. So that shot was also on your IG
Yes.
with the umbrella. Oh, cool. So you can post on both, yours and Star Photography. So how does one get into this? Or do you have to like be selected or something?
I submitted an application and um, I got lucky enough that I was considered, and after a couple rounds of interviews, I got the job.
Oh yeah. Cool, man.
She's actually someone who, as well, when if I'm like crashing out, for lack of a better term, like
Yeah,
you mentioned, like getting that North Star.
yeah.
With her, it's kind of become like she has a large following, a loyal customer base as well.
Oh
So
yeah.
the fact that she saw uh fit to trust me with that kind of
Right,
legacy,
right.
like I don't take that lightly. That's
No.
something that, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So it's a lot of pressure upon you, or what is it?
I wouldn't say pressure because again, like
Yeah.
it's me doing me. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm shooting just how I would. Like the shot there was a shoot a little further up.
Yep.
Uh it was an engagement shoot I did under her.
Uh,
Um
uh, uh,
should be coming up shortly. Oh, right there. The ones
this
that look
one?
like it has a border. Yep.
I see.
So like I was still by and large able to do me, like shoot the way
Yeah,
I would shoot.
yeah.
Uh yeah.
Cool. So this couple is her client?
So this was an instance of like this was her friend.
Ah,
Um they reached out to her because he reached out to her because he was gonna propose.
right.
Um so I I ended up taking that.
Mm.
And worked out well. Um
Nice.
although it was one of those things where like I knew we were gonna do like a mini portrait session afterwards, but
Yeah.
it was leading up to that, it was okay, this is gonna be a surprise. She doesn't know he's proposing. So
Oh,
in the
and
back
then there's a
and it was
photographer there. You got a long
like in the
lens, or
back.
how'd you do it?
No, what I did was walked up to them like a street
Right.
photographer. I was like, hey, like my name's Ryan. I was wondering if I could take your portrait. From
Oh,
there, we moved into the space where he
right.
planned to propose, and I just had my 50 on because I was at like one 100th of a second at 1.8 at
Yeah.
6400 ISO.
Wow.
Um, yeah, it was good, but it was challenging to say the least.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
because like I was trying to like almost clamoring to be like, okay, like where is a point where I can properly focus? So like I'd be
yeah.
focusing on like on this shot. where the sleeve meets her arm because it was a point of contrast.
Yeah, yeah.
Like just anything I could properly get a focus on, I would try and hit that.
Mm. Overall, you're happy with these photos, or you would
Yeah.
change stuff?
Um, I would say I am because like it was also a pretty challenging environment, so
Yeah,
it's one of those things where like I know I did the absolute best that I could.
yeah,
The
yeah,
clients liked it, actually liked it, and that's what more or less matters
yeah.
to
Of
me at least.
course. Yeah, of course. Jeez, and especially with like a with like a proposal. I mean, that in itself is nerve wracking. And you gotta,
Yeah, if there's anything you don't want to mess up, it's this.
yeah, yeah. You don't want to. You can't do a second take on that one. So,
No.
um, it's great, man. You got some more stuff like lined up with these with this account, like, or they just send you
Uh,
stuff like throughout the month or something.
Good. It's kind of a case by case basis. So
Yeah,
sometimes it's like offer after offer. Other times it's like it's a little slow. Like I feel like it's
yeah,
been pretty slow most of for a good chunk of
yeah.
this year, for me at
Mm,
least.
mm,
But what can you do? Like I'm still getting work, so there's that.
yeah, yeah. Of course, there's never a shortage. There's always someone needs a shot somewhere.
Exactly, exactly.
Cool. So what's the
Including
plan?
now apparently concerts.
Well, I mean, concerts is, I mean, summertime, man. It's like the season of concerts, right? And there's always something going on. I mean, yeah, it's like why wouldn't the band want a photographer come in, especially when you're just like reaching out to them. It's like you're taking the initiative
Exactly.
with a DM on Instagram. You never know. Sometimes, again, it's all timing, right? So I think people need to kind of take the initiative sometimes because timing, B numbers, reach out to more people than not. And also, I think it's important to like work with like people or brands that you actually want to work with, and not just because it's like a money exchange.
Yep.
'Cause, sometimes
Yep.
people just want to work with people because they want to get paid, but they don't really necessarily care about what they're like, what it is. Like if it's a product or a service or a brand, or they just want to get the paycheck. And I get it. You want to make money, but also think, especially as like us as creators or artists, like you also want to do work that matters to you too, like actually
Stuff that you
interests
believe
you.
in.
Yeah, because that's when you do like your best work.
Yep.
When
Yep.
you actually like care about the thing, or you care about the mission, or you care about whatever, like you're gonna put in the extra 10% because you actually care, right? Because otherwise it just becomes a job, and then when you get
Yeah.
you know what happens with that stuff. So of
That's where burnout really sets in.
course, man, that's why, especially when you get to like especially when like your sole income is based on earning X per month, and you're really kind of chasing it. So it's so
Yeah.
important to like start the right way. Like if you start the right way and you start working with brands and people and that you actually care about, then you're going to be known for that. But if you start out
Yeah.
the wrong way, where you're just like chasing money, then that's what you're going to be known for. And then you're kind of stuck, because you're kind of pigeonholed, because now it's hard to flip it
Yeah.
sometimes,
Yeah.
because you're known for A, but now you want to move on to B, and then it becomes a little bit more difficult to do. So what
Yeah.
are you gonna do, right? Like it's easier said than done. But if people can just kind of like you go on YouTube or whatever, and people are sponsored by like XYZ, it's like, but do you even really care
Or you get
about
the video.
that? Like, do you even care about that tripod? You just want to make the video to get paid, right? Like it's that kind of like mentality, right? So
Yeah. I mean, I'll be completely fair. Sometimes a new tripod, like a tripod's a tripod, is a really nice tripod.
everyone, hey,
From
it's hard to find a good tripod these days.
kinda, especially for a good price.
It's a good
Uh,
sponsor of this podcast too. I'm just joking.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I noticed, like for me especially, I think that's why when people ask like, "Oh, like what do you shoot?" I usually open with, "I like to shoot with people,"
Yeah.
because if I was doing work for this one company for a little bit ago, um, and I noticed like, or I was kind of asking myself, why don't I like this? In theory, this is my bread and butter. It was
Mm,
because the emphasis was more on the clothing than it was the
yeah,
people,
yeah,
or even like the person's feeling in the dress. It was more about the dress itself than the person wearing it, the feelings that the feelings that the piece of clothing, what have you,
yeah.
brings out in that person.
Mhm.
So in that instance, I was like that. I think that was where I was like, okay, I think this generally is where my wheelhouse is, or isn't.
That's how you know. That's how you know that's how you know it's your thing.
No, exactly, exactly.
When you realize stuff isn't your thing, then you kind of you kind of call, so to speak, where no, this is actually my thing now because I kind of been through the other kind of different experiences. You know,
Exactly, exactly.
yeah, it's important to like try different things because at least people will know what they like and what they don't like versus oh, I'm not ever going to try that because that's not really like my niche or whatever. Well, you never know. Maybe that is your thing. You just don't know it yet.
Yeah. Well, on that note, like I was listening to the episode you did with Jordan,
Yeah.
and he was talking about like he met some people who only shot natural light. That
Right.
was very much me as well.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but and I was like, oh, like I don't really feel the need to learn uh lighting techniques or anything like that because I usually and I still do to an
Mhm.
extent like kind of treat light like a scavenger hunt,
Mhm.
like kind of going around the city or like scouting out a location.
Right.
Okay, at this time the light
Right.
looks like this. Let's shoot here.
You got your sundial out. Yeah.
But not wrong, not wrong. It's an app now.
4:30. 4:30. We gotta be at King University.
Okay, it's 3:31. It's moved X amount of degrees.
Yeah, yeah.
We should be here.
Hey man. Hey, could be a good little skit.
Exactly. But yeah, after meeting him, uh, I started to really kind of take into or start to do like studio or
Right.
generally just flash photography
Yeah, yeah.
because that's really what I use. I just use uh, a remote trigger, flash, umbrella,
Yeah.
and anything that looks like it that has that spotlight effect. I believe like 9.5 out of 10 of them are only done uh with an umbrella and a speed light. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
But without
that's
him, I would never have learned that.
exactly. It's the power, just power of having like-minded people, because then people can teach you different things, and you teach people different things. It's kind of like a vice versa exchange of information, right? But
Hmm. Well, kind of like just like a pay it forward.
yeah, pay it
Like
forward kind of thing.
they
Exactly, exactly.
like Jordan had no reason to help me out. Like
Right.
for all he knew, like it could have like I hate this mentality, but I do kind of
Mhm.
understand where it's like, for all he knows, like, oh, he's just helping uh his competition. But like that's not how it should work, and that's
Yeah.
not I don't think that's how he sees it. That's not how I
No.
see it.
No.
But it would be very easy to be like, oh, like, why would I help you when I'm trying to make money?
Right.
Um, but yeah, he had the grace to help me, and through that, like, I want to just pay it forward as much as I can.
Yeah. Well, that's also like the winner mindset, right? Where you want to pay it forward, you want to help people because eventually it'll come back to help you too, right? Because people can't be thinking, if you help someone else, it's gonna hurt your business because it's like the wrong way of thinking, right? Like you need to understand that we're all in this together, and we all want to succeed, right? Like
Yeah,
it should be like I want my friend to succeed. Someone should want me to succeed, so it should be like a mutual thing. But it's not always the case, right? Because people are in it for different reasons. But I mean, that's like the winner
exactly.
mindset. It's like we all want to succeed. We all want to help each other, and we all want to get to where we're going, right? So
Yeah.
it's good karma, man.
Like,
That's just karma. That's just karma in general.
yeah, it was like, rising tides lift all boats.
That's basically what it is, right? Like,
Yeah,
we're kind of in this world where like, people get jealous of other people and they don't want to help people for other reasons. But I mean, really, I mean, it's a big world and it's a small world, so you never know
exactly,
when it's going to come back around, right? So,
exactly.
right.
Like,
But I mean, Jordan, yeah, like you said, he's a legend. So it's good. It's good, man. Love that stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, it's good times. Cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, we're up against the hour, so I just don't want to take up too much of your evening.
You're good, you're good, you're good.
Hopefully, you
Thanks,
enjoy
seriously.
this thing.
I did, seriously. Thank you for having me. And I do
Yeah.
apologize if I was incoherent here, there, and everywhere. I tend to ramble.
No, that's usually me. So,
We balanced
uh,
each other out. We balanced
yeah,
each other
yeah,
out.
yeah. It's a yin and yang. Do you have any final words for people out there? Advice, feedback?
Um, and advice, I mean,
Yeah.
hmm. I guess going back to what we were talking about, like if you want to start shooting, don't look at, don't Google like reviews of like, oh, well, like best camera out in 2025. Like
Mm,
find something that fits your budget, go out and just shoot, just do you.
just mash it. Just
Like
mash it. Just crush it.
kind of, yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Love that stuff. Cool, buddy. Well, thanks again for coming on. And people watching and listening, wherever this thing is, go check out Ryan. Links are in the description of this podcast. And if you guys are looking for concert photography, wedding, portrait, Ryan is your guy.
Thank you.
Is
Thank
that a
you.
good pitch, man? I feel like that was a good pitch. I don't know.
That was
You probably,
wonderful.
you probably could have done better, but anyway. Thanks, man. Love to have you back on at some other point.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool, buddy. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Yeah.